Round 4 at the 2019 Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship sees the championship return to Blyton Park in Lincolnshire in gorgeous, dry and sunny conditions. Large field of cars here across all classes to do battle here today on one of the BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship's favourite venues. First of all, we'll take you on a tour of the circuit, courtesy of Lee Keeler in his Citroën Saxo. First of all, it's down the straight into a double right-hander on the tarmac, which tightens, and then we go towards the more uneven infield section over the old runways here at the Blyton venue, a former airfield. Pretty dry and dusty, as you can see here today, down into this tight right-handed hairpin. Very uneven and tricky conditions. Then a short blast up into an equally tight left-handed hairpin. A little longer on the exit, which takes the cars into the famous Blyton jump, heading into the back of the circuit. Might see the more powerful cars get some air off there later on. Then it's through the cones and other markers down the, well, what we call the back straight, but is certainly not very straight. Then it's on the brakes into the left-hander, careful not to run too wide onto the grass on the exit of this double left-hander. Then a short straight up towards the final right-hander on the tarmac, and that was a lap of Blyton Park Rallycross circuit. We begin our coverage today with the Steve Gaunt Trailers pre-1995 Classic Division. 2 heat wins for Michael Grant in the orange Ford Fiesta, and 1 for Mark Jones in the MR2, and it's Jones who leads them away, looking to extend his championship lead in the division ahead of Grant's. Third is Vince Bristow, recent round winner at Pembrey in South Wales with the BMW, and somebody clipping a marker bail there, that was Ian Clark in the Mini at the back of the field behind David Martin in the Stutchbury team's Peugeot 205. Mark Jones leads into it, Vince Bristow being leaned on there by Michael Grant. Great cloud of dust, bit of track watering needed, I think, on the infield section there. So 5 laps for the Classics in their A final. It is Mark Jones who leads the way in his Toyota MR2, the championship leader. 1 non-starter in this A final being Ian Biaggi with his Mini. It's Jones who leads from Grant, then Bristow running wide in the BMW onto the grass. David Ewan in 4th place with the Ford Fiesta Evo, a rear-wheel drive Ford Fiesta with a Mitsubishi Evo engine, that car, a real hybrid, the Ewan Fiesta. Michael Grant keeping pace with our race leader, his father Andy Grant, a star of the British Rallycross Championships over the years. Jones increasing his lead though in the MR2. Oh, and Grant's broken, the Fiesta pulling off at the first corner, so Michael Grant, sadly our top qualifier, out of the race. So it's Jones in the clear now ahead of Vince Bristow, Mr. Sideways as we call him, in his E36 BMW, regular rally driver. David Ewan up into 3rd in the Fiesta Evo. Then we've got the 205, formerly Ryan and Scott Stutchbury raced that car. It's now driven by David Martin. The Stutchburys having a year out. Round the hairpin they go. You can see the track has been watered there, but a fair bit of dust being kicked up all the same on this hot and windy day here at Blyton. Over the top they come, Ewan kicking the tail out on his rear-wheel drive Fiesta, the man from Cumbria, chased by David Martin. Then we've got Ian Clark in the Mini at the back. There is a separate class for Minis in the Classic division, so Ian Clark will get maximum points in that as long as he finishes, with Ian Biaggi failing to start in this A final. We're into lap number 3 now. Mark Jones looking for another A final victory to extend his points lead. He comes into turns 1 and 2. It's Bristow starting to close him down now in 2nd place with the BMW. Doesn't look much like a rallycross car. BMWs of that size more famous as touring cars, of course. Some brakes for the hairpin. You can see it's tricky to get the car stopped there on the loose section. It's Bristow slides it sideways behind him, and it's up towards the left-handed hairpin and into the jump. Mark Jones still pressing on in front, the Welshman, in the Marks Motors MR2. David Ewan up there in 3rd. He's had a few problems with the differential on that Fiesta over the last couple of events. It looks like he's rectified them here. He could be on for a top 3 finish. And then we've got Ian Clark in the Mini at the back behind David Martin in the Peugeot 205. Jones continues to lead into lap 4, sliding the MR2 through onto the tarmac. Very potent car, used to run it in the super modified division and was quite successful there. Mark Jones through into turns 1 and 2. Then up towards the infield section once again. Vince Bristow trying to close the gap, but hasn't closed in by much at the moment. Ewan appears to be happy with third place, the Flying Farmer, in his Fiesta Evo. David Martin's dropped away now. David Ewan in third place in the Compare cover-sponsored Ford Fiesta Evo. In Rallycross for many, many years has David, a former banger racer as well at Wharton Stock Car Club in Lancashire. It's Bristow up there in second, regular rally driver, and he is catching Mark Jones now. Bristow a winner on Jones's home turf recently at Pembrey down in South Wales. He's definitely got the gap down to Mark Jones into the right-hander at the end of the lap. See what the gap is. It's less than half a second now. I think Jones has got a problem. Yes, that MR2 is slowing down. Jones is in trouble. Oh, what a shame for Mark Jones. Vince Bristow passes him on the run down towards turn one. Jones in trouble with the MR2. I'm wondering if it's a puncture or whether it's a mechanical problem. No, the tyres look okay on the MR2. That could be Mark Jones out of the race with mechanical problems. Great shame for Mark. He pulls to one side. David Ewan going through up into second place in the Fiesta. Now we'll see if he can close down our race leader Vince Bristow. Beautiful slide there through the hairpin. That's why they call him Mr. Sideways. He's heading for his second round win of the year in the Steve Gaunt Trailer Hire pre-1995 division of the Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship here at Blyton Park. Just 3 corners to go now. 2 lefts at the far end of the circuit and then up to the right. It's going to be a win for Vince Bristow, a lucky victory. Great shame for Mark Jones, still going but has dropped behind. Here comes Vince Bristow around the final corner, takes the checkered flag, the BMW takes the win. Bristow the winner. It's going to be David Ewan in second place. That's his best finish in some time. The Fiesta slides across the line. Well done, David Ewan. A good second place. David Martin in the Peugeot 205 is third. And fourth place is going to go to Ian Clark. He will win the mini class. Great entertainer is Ian. Slides it round the final corner. Always good fun is Ian Clark. Look how pleased he is. Wins the mini class, and Mark Jones will get to the finish. He's going to limp the MR2 home. At least get some championship points on the board in the Steve Gaunt Trailers Classic Rallycross A final. Crowd waiting patiently for him to make it to the line. He is going to make it to the line, unlike Mike Grant, whose Fiesta dropped out on the second lap. So both of our top qualifiers with problems there. Vince Bristow the winner by nearly 8 seconds ahead of David Ewan. David Martin with a good third place in the Peugeot. Ian Clark in fourth, and Mark Jones struggling home with mechanical problems as the final finisher. Mike Grant was a retirement.
Vince, congratulations on your A final win. Now obviously you've been to Blyton before. Round 1 was at Blyton, you did really well there, as you did at Pembrey, so this is going to be some vital points to push you up the table a little bit. Do you enjoy Blyton?
It's not my favourite circuit. Really suits front-wheel drives, but it's part of the championship, so we come and we just do what we can.
That's it. It's a good challenge for you, isn't it? You're up against quite a lot of different cars in your class, with it being classic. So, like you say, you've got a lot of front-wheel drive challenges against you out on the track, but you certainly hold your own, and you certainly have today.
I just try and keep it wide and keep them behind me. That's the easiest way.
That's it. I mean, I know Mark did have a very good lead, and unfortunately he suffered some car problems today, and the door was just left open for you to just hold the rest of them back and take it over the finish line. So well done. Are you going to be doing the next round with us?
Yes, we are. Yeah. That's Pembrey 2 days, I believe.
Yeah.
So we'll see you there.
Fantastic. See you then. Thank you.
Now we move on to the Flitspeed Production 4x4 Category A final, and it's a match race between a pair of Subaru Imprezas. Number treble 5 of James Phillips, he won all 3 heats. He leads off ahead of 193, which is Chris Baker. So a straightforward race between the 2 Subarus here. Phillips won the first heat by some 13 seconds. The gap came down to 9 seconds in heat 2. And they were a similar margin apart in heat 3, and Chris Baker giving a good chase here in the early stages. The track has been watered on the run into the hairpin, you can see there. Into the left-hander, it's Phillips who's got the advantage. He's unbeaten in A finals in this category so far this season. We have seen Paul Davis in action, the former champion this year. He's had mechanical problems with his Subaru over the course of the season, so not here at Blyton today. And Dan Beattie, the reigning champion, taking a season out as well, which has left the championship wide open. It's James Phillips, the newcomer, who has dominated it so far. The tractor salesman leads the first lap in the lead by less than a second ahead of Chris Baker, newcomer to the category, and he's learning very fast here. Leads the way. James Phillips leads the way as they come down towards turn 1 on the tarmac. The four-wheel drive Subaru's flying along here at Blyton Park. Subaru, an iconic rally car, of course, the days of Colin McRae. No prizes for guessing why James Phillips has chosen 555 as his number. 555, of course, the sponsor of the Subaru World Rally Team for almost their whole existence. Running wide onto the grass there was the 193 of Chris Baker, giving chase to James Phillips. Can he inflict the first defeat on the Subaru pilot this year? It's a good slide there through the left-hander. Not getting any air off the jump, though. They need a bit more of a run-up, I think. Through the straw bales and the cones on, well, what we call the back straight, but it's not very straight. See the Ginetta markers there. Ginetta, the Leeds-based sports car builder, the owners of Blyton Park, and they have improved the facilities a lot here over the years. Lawrence Tomlinson, the boss of Ginetta, a regular racer as well in sports cars over the years, competed at Le Mans in the past. Wonder if he's ever fancied to go in a rallycross car around here. Never seen a Ginetta in rallycross. I've seen them in short circuit hot rods. It is 555 James Phillips in the Subaru who leads the way. Not seen much international rallycross success in recent years for Subaru. I think the last man to find success in the European Championships was the great Per Eklund, the Swedish former rally star. Competed for Saab for many years as well. Chris Baker dropping back just a little now from James Phillips. This is closer than he was in the heats. He was on average about 10 seconds down on James Phillips in the 3 heats earlier on. The way it works in this championship, in all classes of the Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross, is the drivers all take part in 3 heats, and their 2 best times count towards their grid position. You get 1 point for first place, 2 for second, and so on downwards in the heat classifications, and the lowest score from the heats takes pole position over the best 2 out of 3. Still close here at the front of the field, less than a second in it as they came through last time. We're on lap 4 of the 5 now. Can Chris Baker try and close James Phillips down? Phillips in a slightly older model Subaru to that of Christopher Baker. As they come down towards the hairpin once again. Into the loose section, getting pretty cut up here. You can see the treble 5 car sliding there. He locked up going in there, tricky to get the car stopped, and Baker's had a similar problem, and he goes off on the outside of the hairpin. Well, that's handed it to James Phillips. Chris Baker off on the grass. Too much sliding there on the mud, under braking. The car just locked up. We saw Phillips almost do the same thing, but he got the car stopped and got it round the hairpin. So it's Phillips clear for victory then. He's got 1 more lap to negotiate of this Blyton Park rallycross circuit. It's nice and steady out in front. It's going to be 4 A finals out of 4. He won the opening round here at Blyton when he was in fact the only finisher in the A final, and then took the 2 rounds at Pembrey as well, the double header round last month. Phillips still ahead of Baker. Baker trying a bit too hard there to catch up, running wide off the left-hander. He's not going to catch James Phillips now. But he's determined to get a finish here in second place. James Phillips heads towards the hairpin for the last time. Again, getting a bit squirrely under braking, but he manages to get the car stopped and round the hairpin. Not celebrating or showboating just yet, the 555. He's taking it easy on this last lap to finish first. First you have to finish, as they say. Phillips knows he's just got to keep going for victory, so playing it safe by the look of it on this final lap of the Flit Speed Production 4x4 A final. This car launched at the Autosport International Racing Car Show in Birmingham in January. First season of rallycross for James Phillips, and it's turning out beautifully for him. Probably just wishing he had a bit more opposition. He takes his 4th A final win of the season, keeps up his unbeaten record. His rival just going down the back straight into the left-hander towards the end of the lap. That's Chris Baker in number 193. Was up there chasing him in the early stages, but then had that spin on lap 4 at the hairpin, and Baker has to settle for second place. Margin of victory
times. It's great to see you back at Blyton and great to see you with another win, so congratulations. Although there was only 2 competitors out on the field today, you did look like you were having fun.
Lots of fun.
Yeah. And I know that you've been speaking to your compadre this afternoon about tyre pressures, so you've been helping him out a little bit. He's a bit new to the sport and you're a bit new to the sport.
Yep.
It's great to see that you've got that atmosphere in the pits. It's wonderful.
Some really good friendship, and come away from it with a lot of new friends and stuff, so it's really nice, to be fair.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And as a bonus, you've got yourself some jammy points for your championship, which is brilliant, because you've been consistent all season so far.
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah,
The car's been really good.
Yeah.
Dominic over at Flit Speed has been absolutely brilliant with helping. He's been pro.
And you're enjoying yourself clearly, because you've always got a smile on your face.
Always got a smile.
Brilliant. Well, we can't wait to see what comes in the next round, so we'll see you there. Yeah, and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Now the AS Performance Super Modified category. This is the B final. Leading the way, it is Scotsman Kenny Hall at the wheel of his Renault Clio, and Todd Crooks, the winner of the A final at the opening round of the year here at Blyton, in second place with his new BMW Mini. Had a few mechanical problems in the heats, which have restricted him to the B final. The top 2 finishers go through onto the back of the grid for the A final. We've already lost Ian Shelley's BMW Mini. You can see that parked up there. There's a good battle going on between the ex-Tommy Graham Escort of William Stewart and Michelle Swallow in her Porsche Boxster. Stewart just going through into third there on the hairpin, but it's Kenny Hall making his first appearance of the season in the Renault Clio who leads the way. Good entry of 13 cars in the Super Modified category today. One didn't get past the heats, unfortunately. Alan Crockett in his Vauxhall Corsa not making it through into the finals due to mechanical issues. Top 2, as we mentioned, go through into the A final, and running wide there, Kenny Hall onto the dirt there. This is Todd Crooks' opportunity, and he goes through into the lead at turn 1. So it's Crooks into the lead. Works as a chassis engineer for Jaguar Land Rover. This is the second BMW Mini he's raced in Rallycross. His first got destroyed in a spectacular accident at Liddon Hill a couple of years ago. Todd, an accomplished motorsport commentator as well, leads the way ahead of Kenny Hall. Now well clear of William Stewart in the red Escort Mark II, the Zack Speed Escort Mark II as it's known. In third place, the ex-Tommy Graham car, won the Irish Rallycross Championship many times in Tommy's hands. Michelle Swallow, newcomer this season in the Porsche Boxster, in fourth position. A couple of retirements, Ian Shelley, we saw his green BMW Mini parked up near the hairpin, and also Peter Wharton's Peugeot 106 didn't complete the first lap in this B final. The top 2 here will go on to join the A final grid. It'll be interesting to see how Todd Crooks gets on from the back. Likes of Patrick Ryan, championship contender in his Vauxhall Nova. Also the experienced Alan Tapscott on the grid in the A final, and Irish visitor Padraig Leeson as well with his Opel Corsa will be a factor as well. He went very well in the qualifiers, actually qualified on pole for the A final later on. It looks like these 2 are going to join them. There's Ian Shelley's car. Used to race a classic Mini, switched to the BMW Mini for this season, but has broken down unfortunately in this B final. Through the hairpin go the 2 leaders. Michelle Swallow has now dropped back after a good start in the Porsche. Rob Scott's the regular Porsche Boxster driver. I remember him having a big smash at Pembrey with one of his Boxsters a few years ago. As the leaders head down the far side of the circuit, you can hardly call it the back straight. It's the left-hander, Todd Crooks, already with an A final win under his belt this year in another car that was launched at the Motorsport International Racing Car Show in Birmingham at the start of the year. Todd does a lot behind the scenes for Rallycross, and particularly this championship as well. The Motorsport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship AS Performance Super Modified Championship, perhaps with the most variety in it. We've got the classic Escort, that could easily run in the pre-1995 Classic division, of course. But the more powerful machine running here with the Supermods. We're on the last lap now, heading down into the hairpin for the final time. Still Todd Crooks from Kenny Hall, the early leader. Kenny Hall had a best finish of 4th in the heats, while Todd Crooks had a couple of retirements. He finished 2nd in the first heat, but then he's been struggling with a fair few issues with this car. It's a new car for this year, so just ironing out a few faults with it. Fred Ling, Patrick Ryan and Padraig Leeson were the heat winners, so the Irish certainly on top today in this category. We'll see how they get on. It's going to be England versus Ireland in the A final later on, and going on to the A final grid are going to be Todd Crooks and Kenny Hall. An Englishman and a Scotsman qualify through then. Win going to Todd Crooks, 1.7 seconds ahead of Kenny Hall. William Stewart just misses out with the Zack Speed Escort. Michelle Swallow fourth in the Porsche. Ian Shelley and Peter Wharton, unfortunately, retirements on the first lap of that super modified B final. Another B final coming up next. This is the Funk Motorsport production category, the class with the biggest entry on today's programme. Another two qualifiers to be sorted out for the A final here, and it's Lithuanian-born Joe Miskauskas who leads the way in his Liqui Moly sponsored Citroen C2. Another C2 of Dale Riches in second place. He joined the race as it goes into lap 4. Mark Henry's Alfa Romeo is in third place, the unique Alfa 147 running in third position. Fourth place looks like it's Ryan Randall with his Citroen C2. No, it's not, it's Louis Kershaw, sorry, newcomer this year in his MG ZR. Yellow flag out there in the background with a couple of cars stationary, one of them the Thomas Edmunds MG ZR, the dark green machine we caught a glimpse of there. So Rich is in second place, there's Henry in third with the Alfa Romeo, down into the hairpin behind the two leaders, trying to catch up with the Citroen C2s there, round the hairpin. And what's happened there? Mark Henry's come to a dead stop in the middle of the hairpin. I reckon something must have seized up on the Alfa Romeo there. Louis Kershaw, Ryan Randall and Viorel Puls go past him. Also Steve Gaunt at the wheel of his Citroen C2. So Joe Miskauskas with the lead, but Mark Henry was in third place, has stopped in the middle of the hairpin. Whether something seized in the transmission, I'm not sure. He just suddenly stopped dead in the middle of the circuit. That was rather bizarre. Miskauskas continues to lead the way in the JD Garage run Citroen C2. Viorel Puls further back in the field driving the hire car run by Joe, the car we saw Jordine Wadge race a few times last season. Jordine, a Rallycross official for this year off track, helping to run the meeting here today. And we've got red flags. That'll be because of Mark Henry's stranded car, so the field slows and will make its way back to the paddock. Now, we were on the last lap there, so I think this race will be declared. Yes, they're making their way into the paddock, so that will be a win for Joe Miskauskas. He's going to go through to the back of the grid for the A final. I think it'll be Dale Riches in another C2 who goes through with him, yes, leading the rest of the pack back into the paddock there. Louis Kershaw behind him in the MG ZR will miss out. And then Ryan Randall behind them, the bright green Citroen C2. So a bit of a race of attrition there, the B final for the production category. Miskauskas the winner by just over 5 seconds, the result taken back to the end of lap 4. Dale Riches goes through along with Miskauskas, then Kershaw, Randall and Viorel Puls in 5th place. Steve Gaunt, the other finisher. Mark Henry, of course, dropping out, and Thomas Edmunds a casualty on the first lap. So plenty more entertainment still to come here at Blyton Park, here at Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship, round number 4 here in Lincolnshire. Plenty of entertainment so far, plenty more coming up after this break. Welcome back to Blyton Park here at round 4 of the 2019 Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship. Some great racing so far and more to come as we move back to the AS Performance Super Modified Championship. Getting ready for the A final then for the AS Performance Super Modified category, perhaps the class with the most variety on show here at Blyton Park today. This is the A final, an all-Irish front row. Padraig Leeson and Patrick Ryan, they had a heat win each. Fred Ling also had a heat win in the Fiesta. It's Leeson in the Corsa who leads away into the first corner ahead of the Nova of Patrick Ryan in second. Then it's Ling in third. Already Todd Crooks, who won the B final, is up into 5th position from the back of the grid along with Kenny Hall in his Clio. It's Leeson who leads into the hairpin for the first time. Second is Ryan. Fred Ling in the Fiesta in third. Then Leanne Sedgwick in the yellow BMW Mini. Rest of the field, Alan Tapscott with his rear-wheel drive Corsa, Kenny Hall, and finally Leonardo Lyon, newcomer this year, Leo the Lion as we call him, in his Peugeot 206. Down the far side of the circuit they come. Padraig Leeson over from Ireland for a one-off visit. Can he take an A final win? He won the opening heats today. Was It was heat number 3, sorry, I apologise, that Padraig Leeson won. Fred Ling won heat 1 and Patrick Ryan won heat 2, and they're together as they complete the opening lap. Padraig Leeson with the lead ahead of fellow Irishman Patrick Ryan. Currently fighting with Todd Crooks for the lead of the points in the AS Performance Super Modified category, so he wants a win here. Third place is Fred Ling in the Fiesta. His first season in Rallycross, a former autocross competitor on the grass. The two BMW Minis fighting for 4th position. Leanne Sedgwick, the former stock car racer. Patrick Ryan, the Nova, taking the hairpin. Very tight indeed there, very quick at the front, these two Vauxhalls. Up and over the jump they come. Still Padraig Leeson in number 200, the red and white Corsa, ahead of the orange Nova of Patrick Ryan. Though in Ireland that would be badged as an Opel Corsa, of course. The Vauxhall Nova was badged as a Corsa in Opel markets in Europe. Lifting a wheel there through the final corner. The Ford Fiesta of young Fred Ling in 3rd place. They're well clear of their opposition. Todd Crooks and Leanne Sedgwick next in the order. And it's Alan Tapscott, the man from the southwest of England, veteran rallycrosser, at the wheel of his rear-wheel drive Corsa. Padraig Leeson into turns 1 and 2, Ryan in 2nd place. Then we have got the blue Fiesta going for 2nd on the run into the hairpin as Patrick Ryan ran wide, and Ling is through. Up into 2nd place, Ryan up onto the grass there as he tries to recover. Just ran a bit too deep into turn 2 there, and Ling's got the inside for the hairpin. He holds the place. Good driving from Fred Ling at the wheel of the blue and white Ford Fiesta ST150. Up and over the jump they come. Now Ling with Padraig Leeson in his sights. Is he going to be able to catch the Irishman? It's Ireland, England, Ireland, the top 3. Then we've got Todd Crooks in his BMW Mini in 4th place. Scotsman Kenny Hall is a bit further back. In fact, I think Kenny Hall has retired, unfortunately, the Clio dropping out of the race. So we've lost the Renault pilot. So the rest of the field presses on. Leeson from Ling at the front of the field, and they're pulling away from Patrick Ryan now slightly. Into turns 1 and 2 they come. There is Ryan, the orange Nova, in 3rd, trying to close back up again. Oh, Leeson's run wide coming out of turn 2, and Ling's going to take the lead. I think Leeson's got a problem, actually. The Corsa appeared to slow there coming out of turn 2, and Ling has got the lead. Patrick Ryan will close back up on him into the hairpin. That's where he's stronger under braking, it seems, the Nova. So it's between these two now. Leeson's dropped back to 3rd, and then we've got Todd Crooks. Up towards the jump goes Fred Ling. Leanne Sedgwick stopped as well in the BMW Mini, the yellow car there, out of the race. It's Fred Ling from Patrick Ryan, and yes, Leeson has definitely slowed up here. He's going to lose 3rd to Todd Crooks, we can see in the background there by the look of things. So Todd Crooks, the B final winner, up to 3rd place very shortly because Leeson in trouble. And it's Fred Ling who will lead into the final lap. Can he hold off the Nova of Patrick Ryan? He's got to push on here. The gap has increased. Can Fred Ling take his first ever A final victory in the Ford Fiesta ST150? Let's just keep his lines right here. Patrick Ryan, a very quick driver in the Vauxhall Nova. It's quite a good gap now between the two of them, but this is where Ryan's stronger over the twisty infield section. Later on the brakes, slides the car into the hairpin. He closes to within a couple of cars' lengths. But Fred Ling hanging on in front. It's a great drive by Fred at the wheel of the Fiesta, the former autocross competitor. Up and over the rise he comes. Patrick Ryan's not finished yet. They're on the last lap now, only 3 corners to go now, in towards the double left-hander. Then there's only the right at the end of the lap, and then the checkered flag. Patrick Ryan's going to run out of time, I think. Here they come up towards the line. It's going to be a win for Fred Ling. He's going to take his first ever A final win. Congratulations, Fred Ling. He wins the A final for Super Modified. Patrick Ryan nearly loses it after the flag there. Whoa, nearly into the back of Fred Ling. Goodness me. Now, who's going to take 3rd? It's going to be Todd Crooks, then Alan Tapscott and Leonardo Lyon, and they are in fact going to be the only finishers. Todd Crooks comes over in 3rd. The winning margin just half a second for Fred Ling over Patrick Ryan. A cracking race from the AS Performance Super Modified category. Crooks 3rd, then Tapscott and Lyon, the only other finishers. Bad luck indeed to early leader Padraig Leeson. The winning margin just half a second for Fred Ling over Patrick Ryan. A cracking race from the AS Performance Super Modified category. Crooks 3rd, then Tapscott and Lyon, the only other finishers. Bad luck indeed to early leader Padraig Leeson.
That was probably one of the most exciting races of the day, and what an unexpected result. I bet you didn't think that you were going to win this one.
No, I went into the final thinking we'll take a third place, and then Patrick went wide down into turn one, and then Paul Pedrighi got a punch, and so it was sort of, I found myself leading with a lap to go. It was very, very unexpected.
That's it. I think it's safe to say it's probably deserved. You've driven well with the BTRDA last season, and obviously we had a couple of very strong competitors that seemed to dominate the results really last year, which was wonderful. But it's great to see that you're having a chance yourself now, and you've got onto the winners' podium, so that's amazing.
Yeah, you had Patrick and Tony last year, 1 and 2, and I was sort of no man's land really, but yeah, this year we've got a bit more power in the car. My dad's been working away as always, and
It has, we've seen.
it seemed to have gone well.
Yeah, and I don't think you could do it without him really. He's a lot of help to you, isn't he?
Yeah, he does. I race it, break it, and then he fixes it again, so yeah.
Good, sweet deal to me, that's good. Yeah, I mean, you didn't do Pembrey, rounds 2 and 3, so you didn't get any points for that round. You did get some points here in round 1, which is great, so this is going to be some really valuable points for you, isn't it, on the table?
Yeah, fingers crossed. Hopefully, looking to do most of the championship now, and may or may not be doing Knockhill. It's a bit far for us, we'll have to wait and see.
Brilliant. Well, we hope to see you there. All right, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Well, next up it is the junior category, a very good entry here today of 9 cars in total. 3 cars lining up in qualifying order. Luke Constantine, of course, last season was the first junior driver to win the overall BTRDA title. First year the juniors had been eligible, 2018, and Luke was unbeaten in A finals last year. He's on the second row of the grid here in his Suzuki Swift. The yellow and grey car in the middle of the line up there, starting alongside Ben Sayer, who had a heat win earlier on. But it's James Constantine who takes the pole alongside Alfie Jeekins in the Nissan Micra. Cars already on the grid. Good to see Amy Baines back out in the Vauxhall Corsa at the back of the grid there. Went well in the opening meeting of the season at Blyton Park at round 1, but unfortunately rolled in the finals and was out of the event. Quite a mixed up grid here. We've got Abby McGuinness in there in the VW Lupo in mid-grid. Good to see some variety in among these Suzuki Swifts here. Alfie Jeekins in the Nissan Micra, the Corsa of Amy Baines, and Abby McGuinness, the ex-Mini Stocks racer, in her Lupo in the middle of the grid there. These Suzuki Swifts have been numerically dominant for a long time in this series. Grid Marshal Andy Bedford there at the front, just making sure that everybody is in order before he gets the all clear from the officials to get the race underway. This will be another 5 laps for these racers, all 14 to 17 years of age. An ideal training ground for rallycross stars of the future, and certainly Luke Constantine's performance last year will encourage more youngsters onto the grid for future years, I am sure. He may have his work cut out here with James Constantine and Alfie Jeekins ahead of him on the grid. 8 cars to do battle. Just 1 driver missing out from the qualifying heats onto the back of this A final. The top 2 in the B final, Amy Baines and Max Langmaid at the back, qualified through from the 3-car B final. Great to see a big entry of juniors here today, necessitating the running of that B final race. And we're now going to look at the junior category. Junior Rallycross sponsored by 710 Oils and Questmead Limited. A very good 9-car entry for today's event. 2 heats won by James Constantine. He starts on pole. And a first ever heat win for Ben Sayer as well. He's on the second row behind Alfie Jeekins. Amy Baines, good to see her back out in the Corsa on the back row of the grid, along with Max Langmaid in the Suzuki Swift. They qualified through the B final. The only driver not to make the A final grid was Charlie Titcombe, so bad luck to him. We are underway, over 5 laps for the juniors. Down towards the first corner, Alfie Jeekins in the Nissan Micra has made the best start. Luke Constantine, the reigning champion, comes through, knocks one of the markers flying there. Somebody running wide on turn 1, that's Alfie Porter in 262. A fair bit of traffic among this 8-car field through the first couple of corners, but it's Alfie Jeekins who's got the lead in the Nissan Micra. Ben Sayer up into second place, and here comes Luke Constantine, the reigning overall BTRDA Clubman's champion, the first ever junior driver to win it. He was unbeaten in A finals last year, and he's up into second place now, the Dayglow yellow and grey number 1 car. Jeekins leads it, Constantine in second place. Then in third we've got Ben Sayer. Fourth is James Constantine, a new paint job, looks like a new car for him this weekend. Then we've got Amy Baines. She was on top form in the opening round here at Blyton. Unfortunately rolled her car in the A final and was taken out of it. Now under fire there, leaning on each other through the left-hander. That's Alfie Porter attacking her in the battle for 5th position. It's Jeekins who leads the way though, ahead of Luke Constantine. Is he going to retain his overall BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross title this year? Side by side further back, that's Porter and Baines. Alfie Jeekins, Nissan Micra, a new car for this championship this year, launched at the Autosport show along with the other cars we mentioned earlier on. First 4 breaking away slightly now. Baines 5th, 6th is Porter. Then in 7th place we've got Max Langmaid in his Swift, and 8th place Abby McGuinness in the VW Polo. Those two former rivals from short oval racing in mini stocks racing. There at the back of the field from the southwest, those two. It's Alfie Jeekins who continues to set the pace in his Nissan Micra. Luke Constantine chasing in 2nd. It's rare to see him defeated in an A final. We saw Tom Constantine race with them last season. He's moved up into senior Rallycross this year with the Swift Sport Championship running on another build to the BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship. It's Jeekins who continues to lead the way into lap number 3. The lead gap only a couple of tenths of a second. Ben Sayer there in 3rd place, the Sayers Tankers Swift. First win of the season, I think a first ever win for Ben Sayer earlier on in the heats. And then we've got the blue and silver car of James Constantine in 4th place, and they've broken away from 5th, which is Alfie Porter, ahead of Amy Baines. Baines, a newcomer last year from the world of autocross on the grass. Jeekins almost clips the inside of the hairpin there. His cutting is a bit fine. Difficult to know how to place the car going into that hairpin because with the track having been watered a few times to keep the dust down, it does get a bit slippery there. Still Luke Constantine in 2nd place. Then we have got Ben Sayer. Alfie Porter heads a good battle for 5th in the background with Amy Baines. Then we've got Langmaid and McGuinness rounding out the field. They charge their way down towards the left-hander. Alfie Porter in 5th place in the grey and red car. And making a mistake there, Abby McGuinness. You turn left there, not right, Abby. Didn't think she tried for a Scandinavian flick there in the VW Polo, and it didn't work. The VW Lupo, I should say, not a Polo. We see Polos in the World Rallycross Championship, of course. So out front is Jeekins into lap 4 now. Not getting away by any stretch from Luke Constantine in 2nd place. Ben Sayer in 3rd. It's looking like a rare A-final defeat for Luke Constantine. This is very impressive from newcomer Alfie Jeekins, certainly taking the fight to the Constantines and everybody else in the junior category, sponsored by Questmead Limited and 710 Oils. Over the jump maker, Ben Sayer in 3rd place, just lurking there in the white car, gets a face full of dust as they head down the far side of the course. Through the double left-hander, 1 lap to go for Alfie Jeekins this time. Is he going to take an A-final victory here at Blyton Park? Blyton Park Driving Centre, to give it its full title. All manner of car-related activities available here. There goes a road cone, courtesy of Luke Constantine. He's already knocked one of the markers over at turn 1. Still chasing Alfie Jeekins. Can he catch that Nissan Micra ahead of him? The only Micra currently competing in Rallycross in the UK. They are popular as rally cars as well, Nissan Micras, mainly due to their lightweight. 3rd place is still Sayer, ahead of James Constantine in the blue and silver number 8. Qualified on pole but made a slow start. Jeekins got the start and was able to stay in front all the way. Luke Constantine was quick away from further back on the grid, struggled a little bit in today's heats, only qualified 3rd. I don't think he's going to catch Alfie Jeekins here. It's going to be a win for the Nissan Micra pilot. He'll be pleased with that. 2 corners to go then, up towards the final right-hander, and it's going to be a win for Alfie Jeekins. The Nissan Micra takes it, and Luke Constantine has to settle for 2nd place. That doesn't happen too often. Sayer 3rd, James Constantine in 4th. And then the rest of the pack coming home, and they're still at it further back. Alfie Porter and Abby McGuinness battling it out. They've got ahead of Amy Baines. Good little scrap here. Baines up the outside, off the final corner. She's going to take Abby McGuinness into the final turn. It's going to be 5th place for Max Langmaid, that is, sorry, not Alfie Porter, apologies there. And Baines nearly loses it, bashes into the side of McGuinness. I think Baines may have just got there ahead. We'll have to confirm that in a moment. And our last finisher is Alfie Porter. Bit of damage to the rear corner on his car. Frantic finish there further back. And I can tell you, unfortunately, Alfie Jeekins got a 5-second penalty for jumping the start, and that's dropped him to 4th place. So Luke Constantine inherits the win, a second ahead of Ben Sayer. James Constantine 3rd, and Alfie Jeekins has to settle for 4th. Max Langmaid taking 5th, ahead of Amy Baines, who just beats Abby McGuinness home for 6th, and Alfie Porter with some damage finishing at the back. So commiserations there to Alfie Jeekins, a 5-second penalty for jumping the start, and he's dropped from 1st to 4th. Now time for the class with the biggest entry of the day, the Funk Motorsport production category. 3 finals for them today, a C, a B and an A final. Brilliant to see such a huge entry once again here at Blyton. Don Booth in position on the pole there. He won 2 of the heats in his Renault Clio. And alongside him, Nathan Jones in the black Honda Civic won the other heats. Second row of the grid we have got Dale Ford. He's in the Citroën Saxo, the championship leader, and alongside him it will be the Peugeot of James Orton, the Peugeot 106, Bradley Sampson in the Peugeot 206, a first season newcomer to Rallycross, complete newcomer to motorsport at the start of this year, starts on row 3, he's being brought into line by Andy Bedford on the grid there. Time for our final race of the day then, the Funk Motorsport Production A final. A big entry necessitating 3 finals today. The C final was won by Stephen Gaunt in his Citroën C2 ahead of Ryan Randall. They went through to the B final. That was won by Joe Miskauskas ahead of Dale Riches. They go through to the back of the grid for this A final. That race was red flagged earlier on after Mark Henry's Alfa Romeo stopped out on the track. In the heats earlier on, there were heat wins for Don Booth in his Renault Clio. He won heats 1 and 2. And it was heat 3 taken by Nathan Jones in his Honda Civic. Neither of them have an A final win to their name this year, so it's Booth and Jones on the front row. Second row, Dale Ford, the championship leader in his Saxo, alongside him James Orton in his Peugeot 106. Then on the third row, Bradley Sampson, a young newcomer this year in the Peugeot 206, and alongside him Lee Keeler in the black Citroën Saxo, supported by Team Hard, the touring car team. They seem to have a presence in every form of UK motorsport these days, with Joe Miskauskas and Dale Riches rounding out the grid in the 2 C2s. Grid Marshal Andy Bedford is making final checks down there. He gets out of the way, and it's time to go racing with the Funk Motorsport Production A final. Off they go, down towards the first corner. Don Booth in the Clio from pole position gets away well. Oh, we've had a collision at the back then. Joe Miskauskas goes around, wallop backwards into the bank. That was a collision with Bradley Sampson in the Peugeot 206, and Dale Ford has come through from the second row into the lead in the white Saxo. Ford looking to extend his championship lead ahead of Nathan Jones in the Honda Civic. He's never won an A final. Third place is Don Booth. Has a look into the hairpin, clips the back of Nathan Jones in the Civic. Then in fourth place we've got James Orton in his Peugeot 106, lifting a wheel there around the left-hander. It's Dale Ford who leads the way in the Steve Gaunt sponsored car. We saw Steve win the C final earlier on, didn't make it through unfortunately into the A final today. Joe Miskauskas is going again at the back after being spun aside in that contact with the rather battered now Peugeot 206 of Bradley Sampson. Don Booth under fire from James Orton in his Peugeot 106. There go the leaders through to complete their first lap. It's Ford ahead of Jones. Then Don Booth in third, the top qualifier today with 2 heat wins. That's effectively your highest score because you drop your worst heat score from the qualifiers to set your grid place. Nathan Jones in the black Civic in second. He's never won an A final. Don Booth appears to be slightly slow here. Seems to be holding the rest of the pack up a little. They can't get past the Clio. There's Orton. There is Lee Keeler under fire from Bradley Sampson in the Peugeot 206. That's an optimistic move into the hairpin. They clash once again. Bradley Sampson's 206 now looks decidedly second hand. And that's allowed Joe Miskauskas and Dale Riches to catch up as well. Here's the battle for third place. Don Booth still holding off James Orton, an electrician by trade, at the wheel of the Peugeot 106. Down into the left-hander towards the end of the lap, and Booth runs wide there. This is Orton's opportunity. He goes through, up into third place. Just a bit of an overrun there by Don Booth onto the grass. Did that last lap through as well, but this time he's lost the position to the blue and white Peugeot. It's Citroën leading the way from Honda. Ford ahead of Jones. They've gone clear of the rest of the field. Down into the left-hander. Turn 2 up towards the infield section. It's still Ford ahead. Ford in the Citroën. Jones in the Honda. And there's the battle for third. Orton still ahead of Booth. The battle for fifth is between Riches and Meskauskas, our two B final qualifiers. We just caught a glimpse of them through the dust in the background. Been a great day weather-wise here in Lincolnshire. Seen some serious rainfall at events here in the past, and the track's been under an inch of mud. In some places even the tarmac. What a contrast today though, dry and windy conditions. Still Dale Ford looking to extend his championship lead. Just ahead of Nathan Jones by a couple of tenths there as they cross the line. There goes a road cone once again. Who took that out? I couldn't tell. It matters not, they continue on. They're well clear of their opposition now in the early sunset here at Blyton. Been a gorgeous day. Saw some great rallycross action. Down to the hairpin for the fourth time out of 5. Who does that bumper belong to? My guess is Bradley Sampson or maybe Lee Keeler. We saw them clash earlier on. They're running at the back of the field. Drivers managing to avoid it there. That's a souvenir for one of the marshals. I must say full credit to all the marshals here at Blyton Stay, and indeed everybody else, the recovery crews, the medical staff, the off-track officials and so on. We couldn't go racing without them, so thanks to them for their efforts today to put this event on. Still leading the way it is Dale Ford. Nathan Jones, a little bit of understeer through there, the black Honda. Looks like his exhaust may have come adrift under the car. There's something dragging underneath there. Maybe that's what's slowing him down a little. He's dropped back a few lengths from Dale Ford now. What a great season Dale is having. Could be a contender for the overall Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship come the end of the season. Still plenty of rounds to go until then. They go to Pembrey, they go to Liddon Hill, they go to Knockhill in Scotland for the first time in many years as well. Nathan Jones closing up again under braking there for the hairpin. Through the dust they go. Has Ford held his lead? He certainly has. Only a car length clear now of the JB scaffolding Honda Civic of Nathan Jones. Can he snatch his first A final win? Bouncing over the jump there. They've got a bit of lap traffic ahead of them. That's a rare sight in Rallycross. It's Bradley Sampson and Lee Keeler. I think they may have clashed again somewhere along the line there. And Bradley Sampson pulling to the outside. Look at the state of Lee Keeler's car as well. They look like they've been in a banger race, those two cars, as Dale Ford comes in to take the win just ahead of Nathan Jones. Lee Keeler is heading back to the paddock, so he won't complete his final lap, nor will Bradley Sampson. Third place is going to go to James Orton in the Peugeot 106, then Don Booth, the pole sitter, in the Clio in fourth. Battle is still on for fifth between the two B final qualifiers. Dale Riches under fire from Joe Meskauskas, who had a look there, but perhaps thought better of it, so he didn't want another tangle there on the final corner, so Riches takes fifth ahead of the man from Northampton here, Joe Meskauskas. The win going to Dale Ford by 0.8 of a second ahead of Nathan Jones, and they were well clear of James Orton in third, then Don Booth, Dale Riches and Joe Meskauskas complete the top 6. Lee Keeler and Bradley Sampson, battered cars, not completing the race.
Dale, that was a pretty exciting race. I mean, you got a brilliant start into the first corner. Clearly you won your A final as well, but there's a lot of action going on behind. I bet all you could see was Nathan Jones in your mirror.
It was. Yeah. It kept getting closer and closer and really applying the pressure, yeah.
Yeah, I could see he was putting the pressure on you there. He was not letting go. He was hoping you were going to make a mistake and let him past. It didn't work out for him. You've been flying all season. You've won every single round that you've done. I mean, you must be on cloud 9.
Yeah, big time. Yeah. Big time.
You can't really wish for much more, can you?
No, no.
Pretty safe to say you must be going for a championship win.
I am, yeah. Yeah, I'm trying.
You're certainly doing all you can to get there anyway. So yeah, round 5, back for more.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Perfect.
Definitely.
Perfect. Can't wait to see you there. Thank
Can
you.
I just say a massive thanks to SG Haulage and Steve Gunn Trailers,
Perfect.
my main sponsors.
Yeah, you couldn't do it without them. Massive support to you, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Brilliant.
Yeah, they're
Brilliant.
everything. Yeah.
Thank you, Dale.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Well, that concludes a great day's racing here at Blyton Park. 1 or 2 teams with a bit of damage to repair, but all good, clean fun here on the Rallycross circuit at round 4 of the Autosport International BTRDA Clubman's Rallycross Championship. Some very enjoyable racing. Join us soon for rounds 5 and 6 at Pembrey down in South Wales. But for now, thank you very much indeed, one and all, for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.